Hare Krishna Prakash. How are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm fine.
Oh, it's nice to hear your voice again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, today I'm completing first canto Srimad Bhagavatam.
Completing? Wow.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That is very, very good. Thank you for that. That will help you a lot. Okay, fantastic. And I'm happy you are back. Are you feeling well?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm feeling well.
Good. Hare Krishna. Good health, very important. Let's chant a little bit and see who else is coming, right? Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitina Hamine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Teshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gatata Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri 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 Govardhan Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prema Ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha, Shivasati Gaura Bhaktarinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, welcome Amit. Prakash, welcome. It's very nice to have you here. How are you, Amit?
Hare Krishna, Garanga, I am well. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. We missed you last time. What happened?
This was on when it was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yes, no message, nothing. That's very unusual.
I told you, remember I told you I had a football match the week before?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, I was wondering. No message from Amit. What's happening? Yes, now I remember where you mentioned it. You had a football match, yes. I hope everything went right with the football match.
Yeah, no, it's fine, Garanga.
Okay, so you're feeling well, right? Healthy,
Yes,
well?
yes. Yes.
Very good. Hare Krishna. So, let's start off. What I wanted to do, because we did that quiz on Saturday, and persistently there were some misconceptions there. I mean, okay, let's ask. Let's ask you, Amit. What is the goal of life? I want to address a few points. What would you say? Does life has a goal? If yes, what is the goal of life? What would you say?
The goal of life is to be happy and content.
Say that again. I cannot hear you. Can you come a bit closer?
Yeah, the goal of life is to be happy and content.
To be happy and content. Well, yes, that was one of the options in the quiz. To be happy and content. But if you're happy and content and next lifetime you get the body of a dog or a cat, that wouldn't be very nice, would it? To be happy and content is not guaranteeing you no more birth or a birth in the human form of life. What would you say?
Yeah, practically, the goal of life. I know spiritually, it's different to being practically. You have to live every day. So spiritually, there is a different goal, and generally, practically, there is a different. It's a different goal, isn't it?
Why are you distinguishing between spiritually and practically? Spiritual life is not like that. That we distinguish. On Wednesday night, I put on my spiritual hat, and on Thursday, I could put on my practical hat. It is not like that. Spiritual life is supposed.
If you're spiritually happy, then you are happy in life.
Oh, that is a better answer. That is a better answer. So the aim of life is obviously not to be happy and content. The aim of life is obviously to be Krishna conscious, to be spiritually enlightened. And as you say, then automatically we will be happy materially and practically also. So it's not two different things. It's the same thing. Just we're putting a one in front of so many zeros. So what happens if, okay, let's say you are spiritually enlightened and happy, what happens then? What happens when your life is finished? Where you want to go? I mean, I assume you accepting that there is reincarnation. You accepting reincarnation, Amit?
Yeah.
Yes. I thought so. Just confirming. So, what happens then? Where will you go? Where do you want to go? That is, where do you want to go?
No, to be honest, with that, nobody really knows the answer to that question.
No, but don't you
as
know
a-
where you want to go? What options do you have?
Well, I don't know what's happened, but if I have a rebirth, I want to be rebirth in a life which I enjoy.
That you have no choice over. What family, what country? It could be Somalia, it could be Africa, it could be Alaska. You have no choice over what family, what country. Absolutely no choice. Not even we have a choice what species of life. If we get reborn, I mean, do you want to get reborn?
Well, I mean, I don't know what will happen. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I mean, spiritually, I mean, I don't. Yes, I wouldn't mind getting reborn as a human and having a nice life.
Yeah, but what is a guarantee? There is no guarantee that we be reborn as a human.
Well, I think
What
I think the actions you take in this life, I'm the actions. If you're a good human being and you come back as a human being.
That is not necessarily confirmed. What do you mean what's a good human being?
Yeah, if I don't, if I'm good to people, if I don't eat meat, I'm good to animals, and I look after my body, and I'm conscious that I don't hurt people, then I've got a good consciousness, and then I will come back with that consciousness in my next life.
Yes, the consciousness is carrying on. That is no doubt.
But what I'm saying is, we don't. I don't really know what happened. I mean, we have theories of what could happen, but when practically, or we don't really know what happens.
Yes, we do. Shastra, Krishna tells us. Who is a better authority than Krishna? What will happen?
Mhm.
What Krishna says, whatever you're thinking of, your consciousness at the time of death, there you will go. What I'm getting at, some people, quite a lot of people, they say, I want liberation. You think that also? Prakash, what about you? Do you want liberation? Are we after liberation? Are you after liberation? Prakash, are you there? Are you after liberation, Amit?
Liberation. What does it mean, liberation?
That's a good question. Most people don't even know what it means, liberation.
I am after liberation. I'm after liberation from maybe with a good my consciousness. So I'm not guilty of doing the wrong things. So a liberated mind is a free mind. So I'm not attached to the wrong things in life.
Yes, but let's just pick up one point. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if we don't offer our food, we verily eat only sin. So probably sometimes we don't offer our food. That means that is a sinful action. So how can we say we are good people? if we don't offer our food to Krishna in gratitude, understanding where it's coming from and offering it to him, then we get a sinful reaction. So sinful reaction means we have to suffer some bad karma. What do you say?
So if I don't offer my food to Krishna, then I am committing a sin?
If you offer your food to Krishna, whatever you eat, not just sometimes and other times not, if we offer our food to Krishna, there will be no sinful reaction. That's what Krishna says. But do we offer all of our food to Krishna? What is offerable? So sinful reaction means.
I find that. Yeah, but I think I do. This is a bit where I find maybe. I find I have to adjust that. I think, if you've been a good person, and you don't offer because you're not offering the food, then you get sinful reaction. It kind of goes against my belief, like.
Yes.
Krishna
How can you be a good person and not thanking that one which has provided you food? Right? Because offering is a conscious thanking. Thank you, my Lord, for giving me this night food stuff. Liberation to life, Prakash. Okay, thank you. So, basically, if we just take from Krishna, welcome Rashika. If we just take from Krishna, we are thieves. How can a thief be a good person? Right? If I take something from you without asking you permission, I'm a thief. So Krishna also, we cannot just take without acknowledging Krishna. So we be thieves. We're just using Krishna's property. It's not our property. We haven't created the food. It's his property. We're just taking it without even a thought of the one who's providing it. So we become thieves. And a thief cannot be a good person. So we will get some negative karma. And another misconception, we have addressed that before. If we think we're doing some good work to counteract bad karma, that doesn't work either. We cannot counteract our sinful activities with good activities because we must get the result of both. And the Brahmin who came to Yamaraj, he said, why I'm here? I have acted only in a good way. And then Yamaraj told him, no, you have also done this and this and this. But I have acted more good than bad. So Yamaraj said, yes, okay, so what do you want first? You want to first enjoy the result of your good work and go to Svarga, to the heavenly planet, and enjoy? Or you want to first suffer the reactions, the bad karma of your not good work, and you have the choice. So that clearly shows we have to get the result of both good action and bad action. But as you say, we are not aware that we are acting in a way that we're having sinful karma. Krishna says, if we don't offer our food, we verily eat only sin. That word is used, sin. So, if we eat sin, that means we're getting a sinful reaction. That is Krishna's verdict. So therefore, offering food is so important, and so many other things. But let's get a little bit away from that point. Prakash said liberation. And Rashika, you also in the quiz and in previous quiz when asking what is a goal of the human form of life, then liberation came up. And Amit just said, I don't know what liberation actually is, and that's what I want to talk a little bit. Hare Krishna, Vashana Kishori, welcome. So, Rashika, what type of liberation, that is a widespread idea, and Prakash, I have seen it in your quiz, and I think I've seen it with you, Rashika. Liberation, what does that mean? Explain to Amit. Amit, he doesn't really know what does that mean. What is liberation? Rashika, what do you say? What is liberation?
It's to dissolve all the negative karmas.
Interesting. To dissolve all the negative karmas and
going towards the path of God.
Which means?
Leading to liberation.
Oh, can you describe a little bit? What? Okay, I can understand dissolving the negative karma. Yes. How to do that?
By practicing spiritual life.
Okay. Okay, what happens then when all the negative karma is dissolved? Where you want to go?
There will be liberation from cycle of birth.
Ah, that is interesting. Because it has been mentioned before, we want liberation, we want to merge in the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. Right? That is not such a good idea. I mean, you have neighbors, Rashika? Or let's ask Amit. Amit, you have good neighbors?
I think they're good neighbors. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you're getting along with your right door neighbor?
Yeah. It's difficult for me to judge them completely, but
yes,
they seem
reasonable.
Good people. Yeah.
Right and left door neighbors. You know, if we go for that liberation, that impersonal liberation, that is called Sayujya Mukti. Mukti, everybody speaks of Mukti. Sayujya Mukti, that impersonal liberation. You know, then you find yourself, once you have achieved, merged into the Brahman, into Brahmacharya, you find your right door neighbor is Ravana, and your left door neighbor is Hiranyakashipu. Would you like to have such neighbors as Ravana and Hiranyakashipu? Nobody would like. Why would they be our neighbors? Because the demons killed by Krishna, they get also this impersonal liberation. Just see. Demons killed by Krishna, from Ravana to Hiranyakashipu and many others. Akasura, Pralampasura, Trinavarta, Dhenukasura, all of them. They get also impersonal liberation. They can merge into the Brahmans. Therefore, if we also want to go there, then we are not in very good company. We're in the company of demons. So why would anyone want to merge, take this mukti, this sayujya, this merging? Sayujya means merging. So therefore, devotees never accept sayujya mukti, merging. That is only one reason. If we merge, we have the demons as our next door neighbors. And we cannot get into Vaikuntha because this mukti is outside of Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the spiritual world and they're gatekeepers. And the gatekeepers make sure that no unauthorized person will enter, no demon will enter, or nobody who has merged into the Brahmacharya, They cannot enter. The Brahman effulgence is outside of Vaikuntha, and it's all over the spiritual sky, but it's not Vaikuntha and Goloka. So we merge with this kind of mukti, the Yuchya mukti. We have no entrance into the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha planets, where Lord Narayan is, Lakshmi is, and so on. So this mukti, there are 5 different kinds of mukti. And I want to briefly mention that. So this mukti, devotees or any sober person will not accept this mukti. Then there is Salokya mukti. Lokya means place. That we might accept, living in the same planet as the Lord. Oh, we would like that, living on the same planet, living in Vaikuntha, Lord Narayan, there Lakshmi, and all the Vishnu Dutas and all the servants of Lord Narayan. Very nice place. Or living in Goloka, where our next door neighbor is Masa Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the gopis, the cowherd boys. So this is Salokya. We may accept that kind of liberation. And there is Samipya, to have the constant association of the Lord, living near the Lord, living with Lord Narayan side by side, like we're living with our family. So in that way, we're living with Lord Narayan. Beautiful, very nice. There is Sharshti, opulence equal to that of the Lord. So in Vaikuntha, the Vaikuntha Vasis, they have the same opulence as the Lord. So that we might even accept also. And there is Sarupya Mukti, living, having features like those of the Lord. And the residents in Vaikuntha, they have Sarupya Mukti, they have features like the Lord. 4 arms, bluish color, the same kind of helmets, ornaments, bangles, garlands, all of that. So this kind of muktis a devotee may accept. But Sayuchya of merging and staying outside of Vaikuntha in the Brahmin effulgence along with the demons, devotees will never accept. And if we merge, if we become one with God, then there is no possibilities of serving Krishna. Can you imagine Vaishana Mataji? If you merge in the Brahmachoti, you cannot cook anymore. Can you imagine that? No more cooking, no more food for life, no more arti, nothing. You merged with the Lord. That would be terrible, isn't it? No more devotional service, nothing of that sort. Why people want that? Some people, not devotees. Devotees don't want that. Because people want to be God. And they have figured out what means to be God. They want the supreme. They want to be the enjoyer. They want to enjoy this world. They want to enjoy everything without restrictions. And they want to be the supreme controller. They want to control people and everything. Supreme enjoyer, supreme controller. So they have figured out that's not possible. To take the position of God, because that position is already taken. Krishna has already that position. So they came to the idea, well, if I cannot become God, then let me declare actually everyone is God. And that's what these Mayavadis are saying. Everyone is God. Don't you understand? We are all God. You are God. I am God. So in a roundabout way, they have come to the conclusion, they are God. Everybody is God. And they also are God. So finally, they have reached their desire to become God. And on that position, I spoke with people like that. I spoke with people. Said that is actually it's supreme selfishness. They have no regulation. You're God. You're not regulated by anything or anyone. You can do whatever you like. Any sense gratification you can follow. No restrictions of anybody. After all, you're God. God has no restrictions. So these people, in a philosophical way, they argue like that. And if you say, but I mean, you cannot do this and you cannot, or moral law. No, I'm God. Don't you know we all are God? So you cannot restrict God. So this is an unfortunate position, and these people, they want to merge with God. They want to become God. By merging with God, with Krishna, they think they become Krishna. But that's not a fact. They're just merging with the effulgence of Krishna and nothing further. No more cooking, no more food for life, no more devotional service. So that is not a very desirable position. Now, we're saying mukti, our goal of life is mukti, liberation. What Rashika actually said, mukti, to be relieved of all bad karma. How? By spiritual development. There's only one way we can get rid of our bad karma. We already mentioned it's not by doing good karma. Right? Let's get that very clear. To get rid of our bad karma, okay, I do good karma. I be a good person. I do good things. And if accidentally or somehow or other I have done bad things, I have not offered my food. Even karma, I have stepped on some ants on the road. This is also bad karma. We cannot avoid it. We may say, oh, that is insignificant. No, they're also life. So we get reaction. With every step in this world, we're generating some karma. And if we think we can cancel out the bad karma with good karma, then that will not work, because we have to suffer the bad karma and enjoy the good karma. Both reactions will be there. It doesn't cancel itself out. So that needs to be firmly understood. So what is the other option? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma Parityajya. Just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Now, Krishna will get rid of our karma, of our bad karma. Sinful reaction means bad karma. So, Rashika, if you said, yes, liberation, get liberated from bad karma, then there is only one way. Krishna, if we surrender to him, then he can wipe away our karmic slate. Everything what we have done bad since millions of lifetimes. Krishna, with one stroke, surrender to Krishna, he will just finish it off. How long does it take to surrender to Krishna? Rashika, what would you say? How long does it take?
It's whenever you decide with your conscious mind.
You didn't get that?
It's whenever we decide to to follow the spiritual life with our conscious mind.
That is a good answer. Whenever we decide. Srila Prabhupada was asked, says, whenever we agree to surrender to Krishna, Srila Prabhupada was asked, how long does it take? 10 years, 20 years? He said, 1 minute. 1 minute. And you're really correct. Whenever we decide to surrender to Krishna. And we can decide to surrender, that's an internal, that's nothing external. We have to put some tilak on and we have to dress in a certain, nothing of that sort. It's an internal decision. We decide to surrender to Krishna, and it can be done in 1 minute. Seriously decide. Once we do that, then Krishna says, I will wipe your karmic slate. So, okay, this is a 5 liberations. We spoke about that before. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, na shochati na kankshati. This stage of liberation, when we liberated of our bad karmas, and we have fully surrendered to Krishna. And then we come into a stage, na shochati, na kankshati. We don't lament for anything, and we don't hanker for anything. What does that mean? It doesn't mean we are fully happy. Fully happy. Prasanatma, that word is used. Fully joyful. On that liberated stage, we are fully joyful. We don't have to run after leading a happy life automatically. If we come to that stage, automatically we'll be happy. And we'll be happy in any circumstance. If we have a lot, if we have nothing, if we are just happy, because we are happy inside. This happiness doesn't depend on what house we have, what car we have, whatever. It doesn't depend on that. What relationships we have, no. Prasanatma, fully joyful on that stage, liberated stage, and not hankering for anything and not lamenting for anything. That's a liberated stage. But after that liberated stage, it goes further. Then we can offer Krishna, from that liberated stage, we can offer him actually devotional service. Meaningful devotional service. There is where pure devotional service starts. Why pure devotional service? Because we don't want anything back from Krishna. We are already satisfied. We are not hankering for anything, means we have no desires, material desires. We're not lamenting for anything. So we are happy in ourselves. Then we can serve Krishna properly. Because anything not on the liberated platform, we're serving Krishna, but we always want something back. I serve Krishna, but please, Krishna, let me be in good health. Let my relatives be okay. Give me a little bit more money. Give me this, give me. I mentioned that long time before when we had Ratha Yatra in Leicester, and I had the service of distributing some Mahaprasad of Jagannath, and people came in front of Jagannath, offered their obeisances, and then I gave them a bit of prasadam in their hand, everyone. And so many people asked something, please bless me. Can you imagine what blessings they wanted? Nobody said, bless me, said I will get free from my bad karma. Like Rashika just said. Nobody of all these people, hundreds of people, nobody said, let me be Krishna conscious. What people said was, please bless me, I will pass my driving test. Bless me, I will get a good husband, a good wife. Bless me, I will be healthy. All material things, which is okay. At least we come to Krishna for that. But that is not pure. That is impure. Right? So, what desire, Vaishana, your microphone is on, so I'm asking you. What desire, there's only one desire. One thing we can ask Krishna. What's that? What would you say? Hare Krishna Prakashji. I hope you take that on board. Impersonal liberation is out of the book. Don't ever. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I would go for bhakti. I want to serve the Lord life after life.
Yes, that is the only legitimate desire we can ask Krishna. Please keep me at your lotus feet, which means let me always serve you. Let's look at two examples. Prahlad Maharaj, when Nrisimhadev appeared, and Nrisimhadev said, I'm very pleased with you, Prahlad. I give you a boon. What do you want? Amit, now a question for you. If the Lord himself would say, Amit, I'm pleased with you. What do you want? You can ask me anything. What would you ask? Krishna himself stands right in front of you and says, Amit, ask me for anything. I can grant any boon. I can fulfill any desire of yours, because I'm the Lord of the entire universe. So, ask a boon from me. What would you ask? Don't say, I want Leicester winning the football game match. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't, I know. But what would you ask?
So what, right now, in this world, right now?
Well, right now, yes. What would you ask?
Practically, yeah. I'm asking.
Well, everything is practical. It has to be practical. It's not theoretical. We're not speaking theoretical. Very practical. If Krishna was there in front of you and said, Amit, I'm pleased with you, ask me for anything, what would you ask? Be very careful what you ask.
So I would ask that to get rid of all the meat industries in this world.
Okay. Okay, what did Prahlad?
Because practically, this is what I'm saying practically. I mean, it's not self-centered about me. Yeah. It's
Yes.
what I'm seeing around me. It's the suffering.
It's nice you don't ask.
Yeah, I don't want to be self-centered. I don't want to ask about myself. I think that is too self-centered. I think that's too.
Yes, that's very nice.
But about myself, I mean, I want to be liberated from the world. Yet, I mean, the world is suffering. So surely the suffering of the world is more important than my liberation.
That is very nice. That is actually very nice. Now I understand what you're asking for, and why you're asking for. Many people will say, I want to be liberated from repeated birth and death and so on. But Prahlad, what did he ask? Vaishana, what did he say when Lord Nrsimhadev offered him a boon? When he said, okay, what do you want? What did Prahlad say? Vaishana Mataji, do you know?
Can you hear me? Right.
Yes, yes.
Sorry. I think he said he wanted the liberation of his father and mukti for all his generation, wasn't it?
He wanted, yes, for his father, but more than that. What did he ask?
And
the Lord actually offered him, come with me back to the spiritual world. What did Prahlad say?
He wanted to serve him.
He said, how can I go back with you to the spiritual world when all these rascals here are suffering like anything, right? So similar to what Amit said. How can I be selfishly asking for liberation and come when I see all these rascals in the material world engrossed in sense gratification and getting such a horrible karma and horribly suffering in the lower species of life? Because they're animal killers, they're this, they're that, and not only animal killers, they're baby killers in the womb, and this and that, and so many things. So Prahlad didn't ask for his personal liberation. He said, I can only go back if all these rascals are delivered as well. So similar what you said, Amit, not thinking of his own liberation, but thinking of everybody else. And if Haridas Thakur, he was also asked by Lord Chaitanya, Haridas, what do you want? I can fulfill all your desires. So Haridas said, please, I don't mind where you put me, in what form of life in my next life. He didn't ask for liberation. So I don't mind, even if you put me in the body of a dog. But let this be a dog in the family of Vaishnavas, of devotees. So basically, he could appreciate the association of devotees. How many people appreciate the association of devotees? And devotees, we meaning Rashika, Amit, Vaishana, myself. So we have 4 devotees here. So how many people can appreciate the association of devotees tonight? 4. Exactly 4. Not anymore. So Haridas Thakur could appreciate this association of devotees. He said, let me never forget you, my Lord, and let me always be in the association of your devotees. Hare Krishna. So that is the supreme desire, so to speak. Higher than personal liberation. Hare Krishna. Any questions? That had to be said about liberation.
I think when I came, you were talking about Sayujya Mukti, and you said there were 5 types, right?
Yes, yes.
So you had Sayujya, you had the Salokya, the Sanukya,
Yes.
and Sarupya. So what's the 5th one?
The 5th one is Sharshti. Opulence is equal to that of the Lord.
Sharshti.
Yes.
Sharshti. Thank you.
So 5 types of liberation. Yes. Okay. Let's move away from that. Enough. Just take one thing away from that. Don't ever think of wanting to merge into Krishna. You cannot merge into Krishna, but you can merge into the Brahmachari, lose your individuality, and have Ravana as your right door neighbor and Hiranyakashipu as your left door neighbor, because the demons achieve this liberation also. Not small demons, the big demons who are killed by Krishna. But never mind, we don't want Hiranyakashipu in our neighborhood, do you? So that is a no-no. Sayujya Mukti. And the other Muktis we may accept, but higher than the Mukti is just what Amit said. Let's all these rascals be delivered in this world. Let's people stop killing animals and eating meat.
So what, sorry to disturb you. So out of these 5 liberations that you've explained, which one would you say is the highest?
It depends what you want. Sayujya, the merging is out of question. You can achieve the others. If we want to really, if that's what we want, we can have the same bodily features as Krishna in Vaikuntha, 4 arms, bluish body, helmet, garlands, ornaments, just like the Lord. Or we can have the same opulences as the Lord in Vaikuntha, or we can have like Samipya, living near the Lord, like someone lives with his family in the same house. So living with the Lord side by side, that we can have that. Or Salokya, living on the same planet as the Lord. We can, if we want to aspire for any of these liberations, we can do so. And they could be accepted by devotees, but not merging into the Brahmachari. That is out of question. Okay, shall we move away from that? Okay, let's go. Let's bring up the Bhagavad Gita. I want to talk about one verse today. In the 2nd chapter, there are a few important verses. 3, 6, 7 important verses. Of course, we read last time before Gita Jayanti, we read about all the key verses, more than 7, but a selection of these key verses, there are 7 verses. Text number 7 in Bhagavad Gita is Karpanya dosha pahata svabhava. That's an important verse. Let's bring that up. Bhagavad Gita 2:7. And I share the screen just in a moment. 2:7. Okay, here we are. How do I share the screen? So we can read along. Okay, can we all see that screen? I think so, yes. So, Kalpanya dosha pahatasvapava prishchami tvam dharma samutacheta yachreyasyan nishchitam pruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanam. So, by the verse, Vaishana Mataji, can you read the verse? I don't want to do all the talking. I want to engage you also a little bit.
Right.
Vaishana Mataji, read the verse.
Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Purpose.
Okay, that's an important verse, because at this point, earlier on, in the second chapter, the 7th verse, not as someone said recently, some time back, Arjuna becomes Krishna's disciple in the 18th chapter. Oh, no, nothing of that. Early on in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, this chapter which we're studying right now, and the beginning of the 2nd chapter, the 7th verse, Arjuna actually surrenders to Krishna, and from friend, he becomes disciple. Yes, Vaishana, read that purport, please.
By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world's situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master. Your photochromes over there. Master, supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in. Could I put this writing up, please?
Is anything on your side obstructing the sharing?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, I've got your photograph. You're there. Your screen is in the middle of my writing, just on the edge.
Can you click me away or something? I don't see that.
Oh.
I would not.
Well, I did click you away. I've lost the writing now.
You can make it small, I think. It is very disturbing. I have here also a small window. I made it small. I put it down in the corner.
Yeah, so your window's coming in the corner.
And
I can't scroll up.
I can see it, but would you want me to read it? Or
yes, please.
What about now? Is it gone?
No, mine's not gone.
There's nothing I can do. You must do that from your side. Except maybe there is one thing I could do.
Well, I think
what about now?
In one sense, the other writing was better when we used to go into the link. In one sense, we could scroll up and down. It was better in one sense. I know it took time to get into the screen, but I think it's a bit better because then when we want to discuss it, we can go up and down and read it ourselves.
That's true. I mentioned that last time, but it was said we don't have to jump from screen to screen. Jump back.
It's only when they're asked to write or only when we are asked to speak. Otherwise, we don't need to be jumping about.
Yes, true. We could go back to that, of course. What about now? Is my picture still in the way?
Yes.
Okay, it has nothing to do with that. That you can only solve that on your side.
Yeah.
There is nothing what I can do that my picture. There must be something you can click on it and make it small or shuffle it to the corner or whatever. Amit, what do you feel? Is it easier to, again, I mean, it was Nalini who said by shared screen readings that would be easier. We don't have to switch over to the browser and back to Zoom. What do you say, Amit?
I think it's easier if we can open it and then we can read it ourselves. And then I had no
Right.
problems doing that before.
It's easier with a browser rather than my screen share.
Well, I can see your screen share. I don't know. I think maybe Roshan having there's something else happening on our mobile, but I can see your screen share.
Is the writing fairly big enough to read it from my screen share?
Yeah.
So the only issue, there are two issues, that my video is in the way. Have you managed to get my video out of the way?
On my screen, your video is not on the way. I can see it. It's fine on my screen.
Okay. So maybe
So shall I
we
just
go
read
back.
it?
Yes. Read where Vaishana stopped.
Okay. Sorry, Bashna, where did you stop? What was the last sentence?
Maybe you start here where my mouse is right now.
Okay.
The Vedic.
Okay. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not, therefore, remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purpose of this. Now you need to scroll because I can't. Okay. This is the purpose of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Gaga Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows.
Just skip the Sanskrit.
He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is the most valuable asset for a living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Kripanas, or miserly person, waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc., in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, but the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from verge of death. Such family attachments can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the cause of his perplexity. Although he could not understand his duty to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of his
You're gone. Amit, you are gone.
Basically, before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna, therefore, is the original spiritual master of the science of the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. Yet foolishly, mundane scholars explain that one needs not submit to Krishna as a person, but to probably you need to scroll, please.
Can you see the screen? To Krishna as a person, but can you hear me?
Hi. Okay. Sorry. I think I got cut off then.
Okay.
So, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I read that last line. Yes. The mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna within and without. And one who has no sense of understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Okay. What do you make of this purport, Amit? What do we take away from this? Welcome back, Varshan.
What I understand, I mean, you need to have a bona fide spiritual master to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Because life is...
I think if you try to think you understand it yourself, you probably lead into you don't really understand it. People think they understand it, and so the true way is to actually do it through a spiritual master.
Yes, that is a good point. We think we understand what life is all about, but we don't. We only think of 100 years or 60, 70 years. We only think that far. And we don't think first of what's happening then. But we are around for millions of lifetimes. So let's not be misers, Krishna says. Don't be a miser. Be more open-minded. This human form of life. A miser is someone who has something valuable, but he doesn't share it. He keeps it all for himself. So if we don't utilize this human form of life, we are misers, because this human form of life is not meant for sense gratification. It is not meant to live happily in this world. It's much more than that. This human form of life is meant to get free from repeated birth and death. That is what it's meant for. But people don't know that. They think the human form of life, that is, most people think actually there's only one life. If we think like that, if we don't accept reincarnation and karma, there's only one life. So what we do, naturally, let me enjoy as long as I can. If I die with 70, let's say I die with 80 years. So let me enjoy to the max. Never mind if I trample over other people, let me just maximize my enjoyment. If after 80 years everything is finished, black box finished, dark gone. It's not like that. Not like that. Life continues. And we have to reap the reaction of what we have been acting. So to be a miser means, in that sense, what Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain, we're not using something as it should be used. Like we have some lots of money. We'll just keep it all in the bank. Just hoarding it. There have been stories. Someone, old lady, old man, they died, and then once they cleared out the house, they found a few £100,000 under the bed, in bags, so that person has been living a very frugal life, and hundreds of £1,000s in cash was stashed up. So that's not money. Needs to also be used. Amit.
Okay, no, probably I understand that, but the part in that verse, it said that he mentioned that a person who is associated or protecting his family members is also, being miser, or it's not. But I do understand that, when somebody passes away, you shouldn't lament. You should move on life. But I think it's natural. It's natural to have bonds, with your own family members. And isn't there parts of life which people have enjoyed as a human being?
Yes, I thought you would stumble on that, and I'm happy you bring it up. Let me just see where it was. It says not being attached to family members. That's not what it says. Where is it? Family.
I've got it here. One.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yes. The Kripanas, a miserly person, wastes their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, and so on. So overly affectionate means too much attached to family. Can we be too much attached to family? Oh, yes, we can. If family and country and community is everything, number one, and we're forgetting everything else. We're forgetting others. Like some people say attached to family only, but next door neighbor and other families, they don't care. They just care for my family. My country, they don't care for anybody else. My country, my community, other communities can go to hell. So that is very overly attached. Or they don't care about what in your language, Amit. They don't care about a billion animals slaughtered every year. They don't care about that. As long as my family, they don't include the animals in their family. It's a very small circle. And even if someone is drawing a bigger circle, he said, I'm such a good person. I'm a humanist. I care for all human beings, not just for my family, for my country, for my community, for my religious community. I care for all human beings. That is not enough either. Why? I mean, a humanist, he only cares for human beings. What about the animals? Now, then comes in Krishna consciousness. Because a devotee cares for every living entity, even the smallest ant in the street. So overly attached, that is a word. Too much attached to family, society, and so on. Does that answer your question, Amit?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Attached is one thing, but too much attached, that's another thing. Anything else? Anyone has any question to that? Rashika Mataji, what do you understand of this purport of Srila Prabhupada? Or you have any question to that? Okay, let's keep it like that. That was the a Karpanya Doshapahata, that we need a spiritual master. Very, very important in order to really understand life, not only by our own, through our own perspective, but in a much more broader way. And a spiritual master from the spiritual perspective, he will help us. So, Set is his Karpanya Doshapa. We will stop here. That was only one of the 7 verses. And next time we're looking at the other 6, all of them. Dehinus Minyata, the Matra Sparshas to Kaundiya. We talked about that in the quiz already, and 3 others. And then we move on to the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What I would like to do now, Varshana Mataji, she has made a quiz. It's an easy quiz. So let's bring that up. It's only 12 questions. Not 60, over 60 like last time. Hare Krishna. So let's open that up. Kahoot, you can already go. First of all, I want you all to unmute your microphone, so we can actually talk during. That was missing last time. Okay, everybody's unmuted. Just don't make too much noises in the background. So we are all unmuted. Okay, so let's keep it like that. Jump over to kahoot.it and I'll put the quiz up in the meantime. Let's start. The story of Ajamil. We have spoken about that. We have read that story earlier on during COVID.
Who is the
That's
son
a question.
of Drupad?
Who is the son of Drupada? We had this question before. We had this question before. Who is the son of Drupada?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, well done. Drishtadyumna, you remember that. Oh, that is very good. You remember that. Drishtadyumna is correct. And who's the daughter of Drupada?
Shikhandini.
Huh? Who's the daughter of Drupada?
Draupadi.
Draupadi. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Well done. Well done. Okay, let's move ahead. So Sisa Vashana's question now. Which is the best purifying process? Purifying. Yes, well done. Chanting's a holy name. Question for you, both of you. When I do test I'm still learning with Kahoot a lot. When I test it I have the app, in the app, then a voice reads me the questions. Do you have that also? Or you have no voice reading the...
No, we just have it displayed in the browser.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, that was correct. Amit. And the first question, Rashika was a little bit quicker and she was on top. Now, Amit, you was quicker. Now you are on the top. Very nice. Next.
I have to
True
play
or
my
false?
best. Rashika is clever. She's a clever girl.
Okay.
She'll beat me.
Okay. It's a long question. True or false? True. Yes, of course. That was easy. Actually, Vashana's question are actually too easy. Quiz. Completely purified. By what? Four options. Yes. Oh no. Austerity? Not really. We are not yogis. And just trying to get purified by austerity alone. We're not. But engagement in devotional service of the bona fide devotee means a bona fide spiritual master. We just read it, Karpanya Doshapa, the pure devotee. If we engage in his service, then we can actually completely be purified in no time. Austerity will not get us there. That was you, Rashika, I think. Next. What's the name of Ajamil's son? That's easy. If you know the story. If you don't know the story, you might just speculate. You might get it right, you might not get it right. Okay, so we have, no, you both got it wrong. His name, Ajamil's son, his was Narayan. And at the time when the Yamadutas came to him, he called Narayan, Narayan, he called his son. And that helped him because it's the holy name. And then the Vishnu Dutas, the messengers of the spiritual world, came. So his name was not Hari or Vishnu, Narayan. Amit, you were there. You should have known that. That was in the earlier, during the first pandemic lockdown, we read the story of Ajamil. Never mind. Apostle. Put it into the right order from top to bottom. What's the right order? You can drag them around. They're mixed up here. Got a bit extra time. One answer is in. Okay, 50-50 it says here. The correct order is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Right? Brahmanas, the intellectuals, the top strata of society. Then there comes the Kshatriyas, the administrators, politicians. Then the Vaishyas, the business people, those who are taking care of the cows, cow protection, all of that. And then the Shudra, the general laborer, who assisting the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. Okay. Amit, you're still on top. Next. True or false? All non-Vaishnavas, non-devotees are punishable by Yamaraj. Is it true? Is it false? No, it's true. Non-Vaishnavas are punishable by Yamaraj. Everybody will be punished according to their karma. They have not burned up their karma. They have lots of karma. Non-Vaishnavas have lots of karma. Why did you select? It is false. Amit.
No, I pressed the wrong button. I meant to press true. But...
Yeah, that can also happen. Yes. Yes, I pressed the wrong button because it's going quite quick. Okay, so the devotees get free from karma. We just explained, Sarvadhamam Parityaja, by surrendering to Krishna, get free from karma. But if someone is not surrendering to God, he has to get the karma. Ordinary people have to get the karma, life after life after life. Therefore, they're born in various types of bodies. And they can also degrade themselves to not only to the human body next life, but to an animal body. It's a misconception to think we only get a human body. No, we don't. Okay, Amit, you're doing very well. True or false? Varnashram Dharma. The Varnashram, the division of society in ashrams and in Varnas. It is true. Brings one nearer to Lord Vishnu, but it's not enough to follow Varnashram. It's not enough. One needs to surrender to Krishna, but it gets one ahead. Varnashram means, as we had before, the four spiritual divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and the occupational divisions. There is a question on that. Puzzle, that's it. That's a question. Oh, here's a spiritual division. Put them in the right order. Three more questions after that. Before I said spiritual divisions, no, I should have said occupational divisions. Okay, everybody got that right. Brahmacharya, the student, celibate, student, grihasta, the householder, with some leeway. The vanaprashta, the retired person, and the sannyas, the renounced person. These are the four spiritual divisions of society. And we have the occupational divisions in Brahmana is an occupation, Brahmana, a teacher, intellectual, Brahmana, Kshatriya, administrator, or fighter, soldier, or anything like that. Vaishya, business, and cow protection, and Shudra, laborer. So Krishna has created this division in society, Chaturvarnyam, that verse. And this division is not only 5,000 years ago in India, you find this division in any society. We have intellectuals. Today, we have administrative people, we have business people, and we have laborers. So that is still there. It's mixed up, yes. And we have students, most of the times they're not celibate. We have householders, yes. We have retired people, and we have renounced people, not many, but so these divisions are there, even today. Next. Our main purpose in human life is to purify one's existence and achieve liberation. Oh, that is tricky now. Is that actually our main purpose? No. It's not our. It really, that's a tricky question. It depends from which standpoint, and that I would have to take up with Vaishana. From the topmost perspective, no, that is not. We spoke about that just half an hour ago. Liberation is not the highest stage to achieve. Even though most people will say, yes, that's the purpose of human life, to achieve liberation, not submerging liberation, but to wanting to live in the spiritual world, wanting to live in Goloka Vrindavan with Krishna and the cowherd boys and the gopis, or in Vaikuntha with Lord Narayan and Lakshmi. So this liberation of living on the same planet of the Lord, living, having the same opulences, the same bodily forms, and so on. But actually the highest purpose of human life is just to love and serve Krishna. Never mind liberation, love and serve Krishna. So from that topmost perspective, false is correct. And from a lesser and topmost perspective, the blue one true could be accepted. So I wouldn't have done a question like that because it's a little bit ambiguous. Who was Archamil taken by? That should be easy. Don't get confused with the picture. Who was Archamil taken out of his body? Who took him eventually? The Gandharvas? No. The Yamadutas? No. The Yamadutas came, but they couldn't take him because the Vishnuduta said, stop. He has chanted the name of Narayan. You cannot take him. He belongs to us. Right? But the Gandharvas have nothing to do with him at all. That didn't come. That's a misleading answer. It doesn't come into question the Gandharvas at all. But the Yamadutas, therefore I said, don't be misled by the picture. It shows the Yamadutas. They wanted to take him, but they haven't been able to take him because the Vishnudutas came and said, stop it. He belongs to us. Why? He was so sinful. No. He was sinful, yes, but he chanted the holy name of the Lord. No, he chanted only the name of his son who was called Narayan. So he hasn't really chanted the holy name. And then the Vishnuduta said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He chanted the name of Narayan. Was his son or he was thinking of Narayan? It doesn't matter. He belongs to us. And they took him in his self-same very body up on a Vimana, on a transcendental airplane, and took him back to Vaikuntha. That's the story. So now we come into our last question. It's a true or false. And the emphasis is on complete purification. Can one get completely purified? Who said it is true? Was it you, Rashika? Did you say it is true? Or was it you, Amit? What did you choose, Amit?
I said false.
Yes. No, we cannot achieve maybe some purification, but not complete purification by observing the vows and performing ritualistic ceremonies. The complete purification comes by chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, let's head back to Zoom. Let me know once you're back into Zoom.
Yeah, I'm back in Zoom.
Rashika, are you back in Zoom? Rashika?
Said yes.
Yes, she said yes? Okay.
Yeah,
Where did she say yes?
the messenger.
In the chat. Oh, messenger. Okay. Okay, so let's see how we did. Podium. Amit, you're on top today. How did you manage that? Out of two. It is not so nice to play that only with two. Yes, three at least, minimum. Okay, well done.
I thought Rashida was going to beat me.
It would have been nice to have Varshana here, but she had something. Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, I stopped sharing. I'm back now.
You back where?
Oh no, it disconnected, so I thought it's okay.
Okay.
I thought you might have saw me leave, but I was disconnected, but I'm back.
Okay. Okay. What do you take away from that session today, Amit? A learning point.
Yes, I understand about the bona fide master, and there's many things who had taken away.
A bona fide spiritual master we need, huh? And we should not be overly attached to family and society and community and country. If we overly attach to country, we'll fight for the country. We are all spirit souls. We make friends and enemies. And if we overly attach to families, and also we make friends, we make divisions. But actually everybody, we are one big family, right? I'm sure you will agree to that, which includes everyone and includes the animals too. One big, big family. So how can we eat animals? We're eating our family members? No, we cannot imagine that even. That is a learning point to take away, yes? Okay. And of course, what's the goal of life? That's another learning point. The goal of life is to love Krishna. Or if we're not on that level, then the goal of life is to get, like Rashika said, to get liberation. Liberation from what? From repeated birth and death. Going back home to Godhead. Not merging into the Brahmachari with a company of the demons. Okay, here we stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll see you hopefully on Saturday. We have some more people there, more devotees there. On Saturday, and we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful week, and hopefully see you by Saturday.